What is up, Ravens Flock? Huge shout out for your support for the 410 Sports Talk. James and Glenn are the best in the business. They're killing it right now. They love talking Raven talk. Make sure you go subscribe to their channel. Let's go Ravens. Big trust.
Welcome in everyone to another episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin here with my co-host James Haskell. And this episode, we're going to discuss quite a flattering, I guess, if you're Lamar Jackson, shout out from the GOAT himself, and kind of go into why he may have done this and all that good stuff. But before we get into it, hit the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and we will keep you up to date on all your Ravens news. But Jimbo, let the fans know, let everyone know why we're here today.
Yeah, I mean, the main reason is simply this right here. This is a tweet that a post Tom Brady put on Instagram telling Lamar Jackson that you just said, "You're next." Which, if Tom Brady was not a retired player,
yeah, I'd be worried.
Yeah, I'd be concerned. But now that he's officially retired,
yep,
right, by his diatribe that we saw that was about 80 pages.
Somehow didn't mention the Patriots.
Yeah, somehow didn't mention the Patriots. But now that we know he's officially retired, we understand that he's saying that, like, hey, I'm passing the torch to you type thing, right? And I thought it was awesome. I think it's, like you said, extremely flattering. But, I mean, I think it had some people perplexed for a few reasons. Lamar Jackson outside of Baltimore is not a national darling right now because he was injured. Right at the beginning of the season, he slayed some dragons and had the world on his back, and then he got hurt. He played bad for a few weeks, got hurt, and then it just kind of fizzled out from there. And obviously, the team didn't make the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. But you got other rising guys. I mean, look at the older guys who got eliminated early. Tom being one of them. Obviously, Roethlisberger, Rodgers, like older guys were. And now with Roethlisberger gone and him gone and Tom gone, like. You add that to the list of Drew Brees, Phillip Rivers, all these, the old guard is now gone. It's a new generation of quarterbacks. And you would think originally that, or maybe first you would think of a guy like Pat Mahomes, maybe, or Joe Burrow with how he's playing right now. Or, I mean, the list goes, I don't know, Kyler Murray. Like there's a number of guys that could be brought up in that list.
Herbert. Yeah, Herbert.
Yeah, there you go. That's another one. I'm sure I'm missing tons of them. The point is, he went right to Lamar Jackson. And Glenn, my question to you, I have some ideas, but why? What do you think Tom Brady's identified in Lamar Jackson? Not that he made a mistake, because I agree with him, but what do you think it is that he's seen in Lamar's game and continues to see that made him say, "You're next, kid. Here's the torch"?
Yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. Why Lamar? Why not Josh Allen, who he saw plenty of?
There's another one. See, yeah.
There's a bunch of guys that he could have decided to say that
Could've
about,
said
but
Baker. No, I'm totally kidding. That was a joke.
My goodness, he's not crazy. He's retired. He's not crazy. But no, it is interesting. It's like, why pick him? Well, so what I did was I pulled up the only time, the last time, it might be the last time and the only time that they saw each other on the field. Where Lamar Jackson was victorious, where the Ravens were able to beat the Patriots 37-20, and relatively easy. It was an easy game. Lamar Jackson went 17-23, 163 yards, a touchdown, had 61 more yards on the ground, 2 more touchdowns on the ground, had no turnovers. So 3 touchdowns, 250 yards, relatively easy game. The only thing I can think of, because while I don't disagree with him, but I guess my only thing is the uniqueness of Lamar Jackson and his talents is the reason I think he called him out. I think that he knows that if Lamar Jackson is healthy and has a an offensive line that he has faith in, then I think that really the sky's the limit for this guy. And I don't think you're never going to find another quarterback that has the dual threat ability that he has. So, and then last year before the injury, he was right up there as far as the league lead in passing. He's led the league in passing touchdowns in 2019, touchdowns from the pocket in 2019, and of course the most historic runner of the football from that position. So my only thought is that he is the uniqueness of his ability coupled with the franchise's success here in Baltimore. There's not many teams, not many franchises that have taken it to Tom Brady. And look, let's just be honest, Jimbo. Tom Brady won more than he lost when he played against the Ravens. He got us more than we got him. But there have been multiple occasions in big moments, including in Foxborough, in his own backyard.
Half of his career playoff losses are to the Ravens. Home playoff losses are to the Ravens.
Yeah, and another one's from Mark Sanchez. So, I think that he remembers and he understands that the stability of the organization is a big part of it, and I think he respects John Harbaugh and what he brings. And so I think it's not just the unique ability of Lamar Jackson. I think it's the complete package that Lamar is bringing to the table. It's not just him; it's the franchise, it's the leadership, it's everything.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I to add to that, I think that the Tom Brady has the ability to do more with less. There you go. See, this is why DK's here. This is the original.
That's the one I was looking for. Yeah.
But Tom Brady throughout his career has done more with less, right? And I think it's fair to say that next to Tom Brady, Lamar Jackson might be the best at doing more with less. 2019, $10 to anyone out there that's not a Ravens fan that can name Lamar Jackson's top 2 wide receivers that season.
Yeah, not you can't call a tight end.
No, wide receivers.
And we know one of them, but name another after that.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you'd be hard-pressed. Now, if you're a Ravens fan, you probably know, but if you're not, I seriously doubt you know. And even less if you're outside the AFC North. So, point being that Lamar has done things with so little at times. Not that the Ravens haven't done anything for Lamar, right? Like, he's been put in a perfect situation scheme-wise to be successful. But if you look at who Joe Burrow has, if you look at who Josh Allen has around him, if you look at who Kyler Murray has around him, if you know what I mean?
Anyone.
Exactly. Go down the list and then compare them to Lamar's list, and you're like,
it's bad. I mean, it's not even now. They have made strides. They've made a lot
definitely
of strides.
Improving. But I mean, as far as what Tom's seen thus far, I mean, I think it's fair to say. So I think there's also that. I think that Tom, like real respects and recognizes real, right? So he might also see Lamar's true desire to win, to grind, to hustle, to put team first, to respect the game. Like Tom's all about those things. And I think when you see that in someone else, not the other guys don't have that, but maybe look, he just sees it, especially in Lamar. So all those things come into play. But either way, I think it's so cool. This is the first time I've liked anything Tom Brady has said for the most part. That and that his dad is his hero. Like those are the only 2 things that like I've ever heard Tom Brady that's come out of his mouth or he said via social media that I've liked. So it took Tom Brady 22 years to do something that I agree with, but I appreciate it. Like that's awesome because as much as Lamar Jackson gets drugged through the mud, real recognizes real. And I think that's exactly what he did. Shout out to Tom Brady for that.
Yeah.
Super awesome stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, what do you think means more to Lamar Jackson? This or when someone like Skip Bayless goes on this rant about how, he's not going to get it done in the playoff. Like he probably doesn't spend 2 seconds worrying about the opinions of someone, that just gets paid to talk on TV. I think that the real opinions matter is the competitors you go up against. And I think most players will say that. So when you have the GOAT, the greatest of all time, shouting you out and saying you're next, that's high praise. But also, Jimmy, does that add any more pressure? I mean, when you get that type of you're next, I mean,
I don't think so.
Okay,
I don't think when you're Lamar Jackson, I don't think so. I think you got enough pressure. I don't think so. I think it's a validation more than pressure.
So you don't feel like there's this mantle that he has to.
No, I really don't. At least I don't think I don't think I would take it that way. To me, once again, it would be validation that I'm on the right track, that I'm doing the right thing, that I got to keep what I'm doing, and keep grinding. So that's how I would see it.
Yeah, and I tend to agree with you. I just had to ask.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But guys, let us know what you think. How awesome is it that Lamar Jackson got shouted out by Tom Brady? Is this the first thing that you agree with that Tom Brady's done, like myself? did he make a mistake? Is there someone else that Tom Brady should have given the shout out to? If you're a Ravens fan, you probably don't think that. But let us know all your thoughts below, and we will talk to you guys soon.
See you.